Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel called Living in Hayward, Wisconsin, where we talk about all things real estate related and also just about living in Hayward. I'm Audrey Miller. I'm the broker owner of Northwest Wisconsin Realty Team, located right in downtown Hayward. And today I'm out and about showing you a little tour of the ski in, ski out communities that we have in the Hayward area. So as you probably know, Hayward hosts the American Birkebeiner every year. It is the largest cross-country ski race in the world, and people come from all over the world. Usually the winners of the Birkebeiner are from Italy or France or somewhere like that. It's a huge event that's held in February of each year. And our ski in, ski out access to the Birkie Trail communities are some of the most desirable off-water properties in the area. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit more about that today and show you some of those communities as well. So this is one of the trails that is close by. This is the Mosquito Brook Trailhead, and they have this really cool little building. It's like a warming shelter and stuff that they have at this trailhead. And then there is ski trails, walking trails, and all of that at this location as well. So one of the things about these communities within the area that I'm showing you today is that they are called the Brook something. There's the Brook Pines, there's the Brook North, the Brook South. I didn't actually even show you all of them, but you'll see some of them as we drive through here. And they're all centered in the area that is just to the north and a little bit to the east of Hayward. So if you kind of go up to the KOA in Hayward, and then you would go, I can't even think of the road name actually, that goes just past the KOA off of 63 North, and then you have Mosquito Brook Road on the other side. That area is where a lot of these ski in, ski out communities are. There's some also up by Sealy, but what we've found in this area is the highest non-waterfront values are in the ski in, ski out areas. And like I said, these are where you can take your skis and go right out the door. So there's definitely a market for that in our area for people who are into the skiing and biking lifestyle and all that has to offer. So typically these communities have a private road system going through them. There is shared road maintenance between the owners that utilize the road. They chip in for snow plowing and gravel and maintenance and that kind of thing. And there's also the ability for everyone within the community to use the trails that are located within the parameters of the community. So for biking, hiking, all of that, you have access to the trail system right outside your door. Even beyond the main Birkie Trail, you also have access to all the other hiking trails that wind their way throughout the area that is within the perimeters of the brook. I also wanted to mention there's another new ski trail access community that is just being developed. It's called the Preserve. You can look it up online, but there's going to be new construction homes in there. There's some land that's already been sold and people who will be building in there in the future. So this whole cross-country skiing and biking trail system runs the whole way from just north of Hayward, the whole way up to Cable and beyond. And there is quite a labyrinth of trails. You can go for, I wouldn't say days, but almost, without covering all of the trails. And it's just a lot of wilderness and a lot of beautiful, beautiful countryside. And in terms of price points, you might expect to pay for one of these houses that we're seeing on this tour, you might expect to pay anywhere between $500,000 and $750,000, generally speaking, for these homes. Obviously, it depends on the size a little bit and how new it is and all of that, but most of this is newer construction. So on the lower end, if you were able to get in one of these communities for $400,000 to $450,000, that would be for sure on the lower end. And for vacant land, a lot of times the lots with Birkie Trail access are selling for around $60,000, give or take, which is probably a third higher than if you were just off water without direct ski trail access. So obviously, as you can see, it's in high demand and it's something that a lot of people are interested in being able to do. It's kind of a whole segment of our area here in the North Woods that I haven't touched on much. You know, I've talked a lot about the lake fronts and acreage and off water in general, but I haven't spoken a lot about the skiing community. So that's why I wanted to kind of give you a tour of some of these communities and also do an interview with someone who has a long history with the Birkie. So that is what I will lead into shortly with interviewing Jane Bidwell. So hello everyone, as promised, I'm here with Jane Bidwell, who is a 37-time Birkie skier. And Birkie is short for the American Birkebeiner. But in the Hayward area, we tend to call it the Birkie. So I figured Jane knows much, much more than I'll ever be able to tell you about this race. So I'm going to do a short interview with her, and you will enjoy hearing about her knowledge and experience regarding the Birkie ski race. So I believe, you can tell me, the Birkie is the longest cross-country ski race in
America.
In America.
Yes, it
Okay.
is right now.
Okay. Is there talk of another one?
No, but there have been some in the past.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if they were longer. There's definitely nothing harder.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So it's the most challenging.
Yeah, it's very challenging.
Yeah. And people come from all over the world. So it's always in the third week of February, approximately.
Approximately.
Yeah. And anyway, so we're just gonna ask Jane some questions here. So, Jane, how did you get into cross country skiing to begin with?
You're testing my memory.
Okay.
It was in the late in the late '60s. Actually,
Okay.
I was in high school when I got interested in it, and as a senior, I spent my own money and drove. We went over to Milwaukee, and my parents helped me get some skis at Lackey and Joy's in Milwaukee.
Oh
I
wow.
was this crazy kid skiing on the track.
Yeah. Oh well,
So-
like on the track of the high school.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, it wasn't because of some program in your school, or
No,
you just,
it was a particular friend that,
Okay.
that skied, and I was very
Yes.
interested in it. So
Yeah.
that's as far as it went until college.
Okay.
I never did any racing, but
Sure.
just skied different trails.
yeah.
And there weren't.
Oh,
many
that's
there.
awesome. Yeah. And then, how did you first learn about the Birkie?
The first time I learned, I was skiing somewhere over in the Minocqua area
Okay.
on some obscure little trail, and it was in January, and I came upon two guys that said, "Are you training for the Birkie?" And I had, "What's the Birkie?" And they explained it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." So that piqued my interest, and then I started coming up here and working the volunteering
Okay.
for a couple of years, few years before I started
Okay.
actually skiing.
And you didn't live here at the time?
No,
Okay, so you were traveling here to volunteer
correct.
after hearing about it randomly.
Correct.
That's an awesome. I don't know the answers to these questions either. By the way, I'm asking her and learning the answers right now. So
It was
this is
a big
very
party. So,
yeah,
you
yes.
didn't have to really push young people
Right,
to come up to volunteer. It was fun.
and still is a big
It
party.
still is, yeah.
Yeah. And then, what year did you first end up skiing the Birkie?
My first Birkie was 1981. It was
Okay.
on for the 10-year anniversary.
Okay.
of the Birkie.
Oh, really? So it only started in
72.
1972.
It was
Okay.
72.
I did not know that. I don't know why I assumed it has been like 100 years or something. Yeah.
Well, in Norway it has.
Okay.
That's the Birkebeiner Trail, I think is how it's
Okay.
pronounced. That's been here for many more
Okay.
years than the Birkie.
So this was actually a copycat, you could say, or
Sort of.
the idea came from.
Tony Wise, who was from Hayward,
Yes, I do
started
know
the
that
Birkie,
name.
and
Okay.
he just admired these ski races
Right.
in Europe and wanted to bring it to
Okay.
America.
Wow. And the small town of
Yeah.
Hayward.
And this is where
Yeah.
the World Loppet, he started that
Okay.
too, so that originated here.
Oh wow. So interesting.
Mhm.
There's a lot of history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is.
And so then I know we had it was the 50th, right? Like 2 years ago.
Correct.
When it was like really iffy if they were going to be able to have it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a couple of different races. So how long is the Birkie, the distance?
Well, that's an interesting question
Okay.
because within the Birkie, there's the skate race and the classic race.
Okay.
And the skate race is 52 kilometers.
Okay.
The classic race is 55 kilometers.
Okay.
The trails diverge
Okay.
in the first half of the race, and then
Okay.
they come back together. And the classic trail is just a little bit.
Okay. And for people who don't know, maybe just a short explanation. I know it's the way you ski, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Skating is on the diagonal, very
Right.
much like ice skating would
Yeah.
be, and classic is traditional for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
In the track, straight ahead.
And which do you do?
I prefer classic.
Okay.
Yeah, much
Yeah.
prefer classic.
And that's what you've mostly done in your 37
Well, there was a
years.
few years that everybody gave up classic
Okay.
for when skating took over.
Sure.
And so we diverged to that for a while,
Right.
but then I came back to my roots.
doing
in the last-
classic.
Yeah.
So there's options if you're going to ski the Birkie. And then the other option, so these are very long races. There is a couple of shorter ones. So those are called.
The Quarter Loppet is the
Okay.
half race.
Mhm.
So you would start at the same start area
Okay.
and finish. I'm sorry, now it starts at the halfway point
Okay.
and finishes on Main Street.
Yeah, in Hayward.
And then there's the Prince Hawken, which I believe is 13K, and that
Okay.
starts down by what we call the brook
Yeah.
and skis into Hayward
Okay.
and finishes on Main Street.
And these days, it's been, Jane was telling me it's been different over the years, but right now, these happen, the Prince Hawken on Thursday, the Cordelope on Friday,
Correct.
and
Yes.
then the big race is on Saturday.
Saturday, Sunday. The classic race is now split from the skate race.
But both on Saturday? Or,
You know, I haven't skied it in a couple years,
Okay.
so I'm just going to diverge.
yeah, okay, all right. So we're not sure on that.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I don't think we mentioned where the race starts. I know a lot of people know this and have been coming here for years as spectators or skiers, but it actually starts up by Cable.
Correct.
Yeah, and then there's the whole trail system that kind of runs south of Cable and to the east of Highway 63 largely, and ends up coming across Lake Hayward.
Yep.
Right before the finish on Main Street. So,
Yeah.
and it is a huge event. I mean, do you know how many people attend?
Ski.
How many ski it?
Right now, I believe it's around 8.
Okay.
And that's for all the events.
Yes. So 8,000
Yeah.
skiers, so from all over the
And
world.
about 30,000
Yeah.
spectators is what they.
That's why it's a party.
It is.
Main Street is the place to be.
It is.
So yeah. So do you have to train each year beforehand, or you just get up the morning of and go out there and ski?
I trained.
Okay.
But I have to say, you don't do it just as training for the Birkie. It's a lifestyle.
Sure.
So all year you bike in the summer, you
Yeah.
hike, trail hike,
Right.
and ski. I'd go out on, many 4-hour skis.
Oh wow.
Just because I loved being
Yeah.
on the trail.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how you said that it's a lifestyle. Like it's a lifestyle of being active
Yeah.
and fit, being in nature,
Right.
all of those things.
Well,
Yeah.
food is my favorite passion. So
Okay.
I have found that the longer I'm out exercising, the more I can eat.
It's a great idea. I should probably take that on a little more than I have, yeah. Because I like food also. So I've seen these people out roller skiing, is that what you call it, in the summertime. I've seen them on back roads, with like almost like a roller blade on a ski, right?
Right.
Like, yeah. But you've not really ever
I
done
did it for a while, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
If you fall on the pavement, it's
Right.
not forgiving
Yeah.
like snow.
Right.
So no, I always preferred trail hiking with poles.
Sure.
Biking.
Yeah.
And we have fantastic mountain bike trails
Yes.
here too.
We sure do, and we have one of the biggest
Oh, yeah.
mountain biking races, a fat tire race here as well, that utilizes the majority or most of the Birkie Trail for that race. So if
Correct.
you're into biking instead of skiing, the trail is a similar trail, but
It is.
different time of year. So
And can I say one thing?
yeah,
about the trail?
yes.
It's not flat.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. You're not just, if you're picturing cross country skiing as like in a field or in a forest, but yes,
Yeah.
so that's why it's the most
It's
challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very challenging.
Very hilly. We actually call the area up by Sealy, the Sealy Hills area, and Hayward is more flat in most places than when you get north a little bit.
Right, they're down in
Yeah.
the valley, and you
Yeah.
come out of that valley, and it's
Mm.
hilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to have a lot of probably good leg strength, which the hiking and
helps.
all of that, helps in the summertime. Yeah, and I just wonder, like the first year, did you train a lot before then too? Because you probably are like, can I do this? Is it,
No, actually, when I first moved here, I was on the Nordic Ski Patrol.
Okay.
Telemark.
Okay.
So that helped because I
Right.
was out there doing it.
Yeah.
But it just the longer I lived here, the more I just wanted to be outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you train every year, so that's what I was kind of wondering. I would guess most people who are serious about it probably do that.
Right. And
Yeah.
there are people who get up that morning
Yeah.
and ski it.
Yeah.
Young people.
Yeah. Young. Right.
And they have a
Maybe
ball,
that's
and
it.
I don't know
Yeah.
how they do it, but
Wow.
there are always people who do that.
Yeah. I've known a few friends that have skied it, and some of them have not trained much, and they've just gone out and done it. And I'm always just so impressed. So.